Vaz is right. How you feeling, Chavo?
I'm good. How you
feeling
guys?
good?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Let's get into it, bro. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Yeah, it's recording. We recording. We good.
He been pressed the button. No cap.
Yeah, ready. I'm ready to get in my bag.
He was ready, bro.
It's a good night.
He wore the psycho hat.
I got all Boston on me. I got clothes by Tomo. I got the mid pants. I got the psycho hood. The psycho hat on.
These are all Boston brands?
These all Boston brands. He made this sweater.
Fire. It's a hard sweater, bro.
Tomo, yeah. He got his own clothing brand and everything. Yeah.
Sweat's hard too.
I appreciate them. Oh, these ones.
No, to my you said these
these joints.
everything's Boston, right?
Yeah, mid. These mid pants too. Feel me? But yeah, man, it's a big deal right here. You know, we got Chavo in the building.
Yes,
you know, I skipped my girl's birthday for this.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah,
man. That's not hard.
It's hard.
Excuse me.
Going with it,
I know she's probably gonna watch it. That's not hard.
Her friends took care of it. Her friends took out for dinner. You feel me? I come back on Friday.
Business as usual. Business as usual.
You know exactly. Gotta take care of business. You feel me? She's gonna be there every day. What?
Bad influence.
He ain't tell me that until you got here.
Fact, he knew. Because he knew. Maybe you're a good influence.
Nah, she'll understand. I think she'll understand.
That's dope. Yeah, fact.
How's it been out here?
It's dope, man. I love Boston. You know, this is my home, first home. I ain't been here in a while, but I love Boston. Every time I come back, you know what I mean? I get memories from growing up here and stuff, so.
How long has it been since you been?
Last time I was here was probably last year, but then before then it was like a couple years. You know what I mean? Like it's always like a year or two. Because I really don't come up unless it's like a family thing or I get booked for something. And the last time I was here, it was for the Pierre tour. So that wasn't last year. I'm drunk. That was like 2-3 months ago. But before that, the last time I was here was like last year. So.
Word. You know what I mean? Like for Rob and Yves, they're not necessarily like from Boston. They be around.
Why you gotta bring that up?
Yeah, right. You're just trying to find a way to separate niggas.
Because I'm trying to, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, which part of Boston are you from? Because I know, like, you know what I mean?
So my grandmother, my mom lived at my grandmother's crib on River Street. I mean, so I guess you would say Mattapan, but then it's like, I don't know. My dad's from Roxbury and then my mom's from Dorchester. Yeah. So I grew up just in Mattapan. So I guess you would say Mattapan, Dorchester, and Roxbury, all three of them. You know what I mean? Because I was in and out all three young wise. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So what you doing out here now? You got a show or like is it like family or?
It's family in the show. Noble got me out here for the testing lab. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I seen that. I wanted to ask you about that.
That was dope. It was a dope
experience.
Anybody
who don't know, like the testing lab is, you know, a platform for like artists in the city to be able to kind of like showcase their talent and get like real time feedback.
Yeah, dope experience.
For real, what was keep it a buck? What's the ratio of like good shit versus
it was probably like
niggas who need some more work?
It was like as far as the music that I like, preference wise for me, because the older heads, you know, they kind of don't like the stuff we kind of be on.
Yeah, they want to hear boom bap. They want to hear
facts. So like I'd say 80%. You feel me? There's probably like. So 8 out of 10 artists I can see myself listening to on a daily basis. Yeah, it was
Boston
dope.
got potential
For sure, more than potential.
You be keeping an eye, like outside of this, you be keeping an eye what's going on, or you kind of like, you know, because where you at now?
I'm in Atlanta, so I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of stuff I listen to is like Atlanta based or Detroit based. I listen to like a lot of Babyface Ray and GTV stuff like that. But there's a lot of talent up here, so it's time for I feel like Boston to be put on the map. You know what I mean? There's a lot of artists out here, so it's definitely gonna happen soon. I know my sister's doing it, you know what I mean? But I don't know if she claims Boston as much, you know what I mean? It might be like a Jersey,
anybody
New York
who don't
thing,
know.
but she's from Boston, so.
Anybody who don't know who your sister is.
Coyle Ray. Yeah,
she doing big
She said
things
she's
too.
from Roxbury.
Yeah, so
she said a couple times.
So you know what I mean?
So you're her brother.
Yeah.
So you was the one that she was talking about in the freestyle for the XXL joint.
Nah. Because I didn't go to jail. That was her brother. That was her older brother, Kwame.
Nah, I'm claim that. Just claim that shit. Just
out there. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel me.
That shit applicable to you too.
That was her older brother. She
all love.
She got like 5 brothers. You feel what I'm saying? There's 5 of us. 1, 2, 3. There's 5 of us.
And y'all are Cape Verdean.
Yeah, Cape Verdean, Puerto Rican, and black.
Nigga. That might be my cousin.
He feel that? He's like, yeah, no. That's fire, bro.
So
that's real Boston shit right there, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact. What made you wanna? Because we have these conversations all the time about artists feeling like they gotta leave Boston and like make something happen. Did you feel that same way when you went out to Atlanta, or was the opportunity kind of already there?
I moved from Boston to Florida. I was in Miami for like 5 years, 6 years. I graduated high school in Miami.
So you was young. Okay.
Yeah, I left Boston probably like, honestly, what really happened, my mom found, she found like weed, you know what I mean? I was like dabbing like a lot into like selling weed and smoking weed. And I really
she found
shouldn't have
your
been.
weed?
Yeah, and I shouldn't have been. And she had got enough of it, you feel what I'm saying? And sent me like with my father. And I moved to my father in Miami.
Can I keep it a buck with you?
Yeah.
being sent out to Miami for punishment, that don't sound like
Yeah, I mean, it really wasn't too much like as a
He's
punishment to me either. You feel what I'm saying? My
Yeah.
dad's the living experience with my dad compared to my mom was way better. You know what I mean? Not to throw my mom under the bus. It's just my dad is you know what I mean? He's a man, and I was a boy becoming into a man. So
Yeah.
he was a lot more easier on me than my mother would have been. You know what I mean? So, and he was always doing stuff, so he really wasn't too hands on. You know what I mean? Like eyes on what I was doing.
Because I was gonna ask you that. Because I was gonna say, how was that transition? Because I remember there was a period in my life where we not here for me, but I'm just saying, like, what's it called? Where me and my mom was bumping heads, and I had to go live with my pops, and like I had a lot more freedom, but it came in exchange for like. Maybe we ain't had dinner on the plate every day. You feel me? Maybe I gotta put bagels and peanut butter together for some dinner or some shit.
You know what I mean? I mean, financially, he was there supporting, so it wasn't like
he's working.
There was always food in the fridge and stuff like that. But he might not be cooking, so like I gotta cook it myself, type shit, or I gotta figure out if I'm gonna go eat Burger King or McDonald's or some shit like that.
Shit.
Yeah, so. But it was dope. It was dope. I met a lot of cool people in Miami, and I feel like to answer your question, I feel like you do kind of have to just get out of your
like comfort zone.
Get out of your comfort zone and just experience other places, because that'll help you as a rapper. It'll build your vocabulary, your slang, and the way you say things. You know what I mean? So you won't sound like not saying there's nothing wrong with sound like a Boston nigga, but you won't sound like a Boston. You know what I mean? Like people want to hear certain type of...
You're well versed.
Yeah, fact. They want to hear certain type of stuff. So by you traveling, you can pick up and use that and put that in your music. So
just building that versatility.
Hell yeah, the world's bigger than your block. You know what I mean? So it's like always try to get out and travel, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, without those experiences, you're not able to like pour it into the music. Like even listening to your shit, like like I could hear the locations where you at. You talking? I remember one song like you talking about like. I wish my brother was here in Egypt type shit.
Nah,
you feel me? Got a song Paris. So like I bet you met that shit.
Yeah, Paris and Percolate, those are my shits. Man, I appreciate it. Nah, it's a fact.
Of course. So it's like you really living what you write, and
for sure.
that has to come from those experiences.
Nah, fact. That's a fact.
So then musically, where would you say like you was more influenced by?
It'd definitely be East Coast. Growing up, I was listening to a lot of heavy like Max B, French Montana, Jim Jones,
Yeah,
stuff
you got
like
the
that.
song Free Max B.
Facts, yeah. So it was heavy French and Jim and Max growing up. But then at the same time, there was a lot of like Rick Ross and T.I. that I was listening to when I was younger, because those were like, it was like Ross, T.I. and Wayne. Those were like the younger South. When I was younger, those are the South dudes that we was listening to. You know what I mean? That were like kicking that shit that we wanted to hear.
So how you feel like your sound has evolved through just like making music throughout all these generations and stuff too?
It's I feel like it has, because if you listen to like my first tape, and you listen to like the stuff that is about to come out now, you'll just hear like the substance changes and the stuff that I'm talking about. Before when I was rapping, I kind of would just like say anything. Not saying I don't do that now. I kind of still do that, like in a sense of me not trying to take too long on a song or put too much effort into it. That's something Pierre was like, he'd be telling me to do, like, don't take, if it takes too long for you to do, then switch to another beat. You know what I mean? Don't put too much effort into it. Whatever comes to your mind, just, because that's what music has that's what it's come to. You know what I mean? Now, like the attention span is so small. Yeah, so it's like whatever, you know what I mean? You can do. But I feel like my shit has evolved over the years. And
do you feel like you gotta adapt to that game of like the shorter attention spans? You gotta capture niggas' attention in a minute.
For sure. That there's definitely an adaptation to that. From like, because honestly, I used to write, and now I kind of don't write. And I was telling Noble earlier, like I do like a six bar or a 4 bar thing, and then I'll go in and just kind of like. I'll kind of bar. Before I used to kind of like, when I was younger, I used to write a lot. And now it's hard for me to kind of write. It's way more easier for me to go in there and just bar for bar, punch it in. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that has to do with the attention span getting shorter.
How do you feel like your creative process is different? Like, just like recently, just like punching in. Like you say that you do the 4 bar first and then you bar for bar. Mm-hmm. So because the game has changed type shit, like, how different is it? Like, do you go back and listen to songs and then be like look back and be like, all right, maybe I'll go back and fix this, because it's like you have so much creative freedom to punch in at any point.
Hell yeah, for sure, definitely. There's songs that I've gone back on and I fixed. You know what I mean? And there's songs I've made like multiple songs out of. You know what I mean? So like Pierre give me a beat, and there's certain songs I make 2 or 3 songs out of that one. You know what I mean? That one beat, and we'll pick the best one out of the.
And I know you just mentioned like you got music on the way. I'm assuming that's Travels World 3.
Yeah, for sure.
And I want to lead up to that, right? I really want to get like the background of like why even start making music. You feel me? Like obviously I can imagine your pops being an influence,
Yeah,
but maybe
hell
like
yeah.
outside of that, like what made you want to get into?
It was really him. It was really him. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like if he was a firefighter, I probably would want to be a firefighter. You know what I'm saying? It was really just me wanting to do what he did, and he always had me around. You know what I mean? When I was young, and so it's kind of like I was hands on with the music stuff. You know what I mean? Just seeing him make beats, or seeing him in the studio rap, or other people rap, or you know what I mean? Seeing him in 2 Times go through crates of records. It's like the music stuff. It's been in me since I was a jit, since I was mad young, since I was a kid. So
I feel like.
I was gonna say, and that's all because of him. You know what I mean? It's all because of my pops.
No, that's dope because it's like a lot of us is interested in music, but some of us don't even understand like the business of it, what goes into it. Like, you feel like you was able to kind of, you know, have I don't know what I'm trying to say, like peek behind the curtain type of shit, like what goes on in the music business. For sure. What did you learn from him? Yeah.
There's just a lot of stuff. I mean, me and my girl be like I'll be telling her certain stuff about like entertainment stuff or like movies or like little different rap stuff. She'll be like, damn, that's crazy. How you know that? Like, you know what I mean? Just so by like my pops having the Source and Hip Hop Weekly, them publications and those magazines, like I was always into like what the next thing that was happening in the entertainment industry. You know what I mean? That was what was the talk around the house or what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I was just always infatuated with that type of stuff and infatuated with it. You know what I mean? So
is it as dirty as a game as people make it seem? Because I heard like
hell yeah.
I seen the interview where you spoke on like you was signing Interscope and now you independent. You with Sosshouse, but you still independent. So kind of I don't know, but like why make that transition from being with a major? And
I was signed to Interscope when I was like 12, 11. I was in a group with Big Pun's son, Baby Pun, and James. James is from Worcester. He was a singer. It was me and Pun's son rapping and James is singing. And we was signed to Interscope, but my dad got into the beef with Eminem. And, you know, Eminem was like the breadwinner for Interscope. So
whatever he said, go type shit.
Yeah, and they dropped us. You know what I mean? So
damn,
they cut ties with everything. With everything.
Damn, that's a little.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just
I
how
ain't
this
need
shit
too
go.
many reasons I fuck with M, but now
I understand. I understand it.
That's the
I understand
game,
it.
nigga.
I understand it. And
That's
I'm not
the
even
Yves meme right
and not
there,
even
man.
saying he made a call up and said, you know what I mean, drop them kids. It probably wasn't even him. There's probably people that did it just because they didn't want him being angry. You know what I mean? Because they know
keep the ties right.
Yeah, exactly. To keep their face clean. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't fucking scream on. You know what I'm saying? So
So you're not on Interscope anymore. Did you feel like you had a lack of direction from then?
I mean, honestly, my dad and Dave Mays were the ones that really set that Interscope thing up. I remember when I was younger, we did like a few labels that we went to. I remember we like performed for L.A. Reid and for Epic. And L.A. Reid loved us. I remember that. And he was telling us he would sign us. But it was just some stuff going on at the time. And he was saying he couldn't. But he was like, if he could, he would. You know what I mean? And it was dope as fuck. And then from there, we went and did the Interscope thing. And Interscope said they'd sign us. You know what I mean? So we was kind of like on a label run going through different labels, and Interscope was just one of the ones that picked us up at the time. And then, so, like I said, I was 12 when that happened. Once that ended, it was years of me being independent. And I met with Pierre when I was probably like 20, maybe 20 or 21. I met Pierre. This is probably, I'm 29 now. So this is like 8 years ago. So I met me about 7, 8 years ago. So this is probably
2015.
2015,
So this
2014.
is like, this is when Pierre's like creating the sound of the next generation.
For
type
sure,
shit.
and it wasn't he wasn't like out yet. You know what I mean? Because the Cardi, I mean, because the Cardi shit wasn't dropped. P was rapping. You know what I mean? Like P was dropping stuff.
He was listening to
it. Exactly. P was rapping, but as far as like his production being heard on masses, it wasn't heard yet.
I don't think that really happened until Magnolia.
Exactly. It took a couple years later. Like Magnolia and Nudie stuff.
Exactly.
When they was dropping the slime ball stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. I met him through Strict, and I had moved back to Miami from Atlanta. Not from Atlanta. What had happened? I think I moved back to Miami, and then P had he was telling me like, yo, you should come back to Atlanta. I want to sign you, bro. You know what I mean? I'm about to start this Sosshouse shit. And I was out there in Miami, like, just doing nothing. You feel me? Stupid shit. I just wasn't feeling Atlanta. It was nothing for me in the A. So I came back to the A. And I hooked up with him, and he signed me like he said he would. And we was working in the studio just for mad months and months on a time. And then we dropped Chavo's World 1, and 2 and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's been a fruitful relationships.
For sure. Hell yeah, for sure.
I'm assuming he's doing everything for 3 too.
Yeah. He engineers. No, he doesn't engineer everything. But he mixes and masters
He'll track
everything.
you and all
feel what I'm
that,
saying?
yeah.
Hell yeah. So like I'll go to his crib sometimes and he'll give me an engineer and I'll just record. Or he'll give me a studio and I'll just record. You feel what I'm saying? So
That's fire.
hell yeah.
Why'd you decide to move forward in that direction?
Honestly, cause I felt like by myself, I felt like I really wasn't doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I wasn't being heard. You know what I mean? And I felt like I knew P could help me get heard. You feel what I'm saying? Like with his direction and his beats, I can be heard. You feel what I'm saying? Over a mass of a wider audience than me just not doing it.
From the outside looking in, like he's a workaholic.
Nah, for sure.
Like
Yeah,
producing everyone on Sauce is like
nah, it's a fact. And
albums,
he's
like,
hands on
top
with
to bottom.
everybody's shit. Everybody's shit. He's hands on with all of our shit. It's like 6 of us on the label, so there's a lot of artists.
I was gonna say, how has it been just working with Sosshouse, and is there like a group project in the works?
Yeah, we got mad songs together. I know P one of these days is probably gonna put them on a tape together. Me and Shark just did like maybe 20 to 30 songs together last year in New York at Quad. He had us out there for like a month, 2 months. So I know me and Shark will probably drop a tape soon.
Did you know everybody prior to like linking up with them and stuff, or was it just
I didn't. So P had it was already on the people that was already on the label was like I think Jelly and Ye Sane. They was already in Che Bills. They was already on the label. So he had flew me. Not he flew me. I came back to Atlanta and I had met them in the studio. I met Jelly and Ye Sane and Shark in the studio in Atlanta. So he kind of like introduced everybody to me, and you know what I mean, made it like a family thing and made us everybody on one accord and stuff like that.
And that's big. Like if you talking about like you feeling that as an independent, it wasn't really getting much traction. Now you got a cosign. Like that's a cosign. You hear that B tag, niggas like for some reason gonna make it seem more, it's more legitimate. Like you know,
honestly, he's like the Dre of our time. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of the beats that you hear nowadays are like made from his template, from his sound. You know what I mean? From his sound. Like 80% of the 85% of the beats that you hear. You know what I mean? So I be telling him that too. Like, you know what I mean? He's the Dre of our time.
Nah, you definitely created the sound of sound of a
for
generation.
For sure.
That's big. Nah, that's crazy. So now with Chavo's World 3, or just like what type of time you on now?
This tape's gonna be dope, man. My previous 2 tapes, I think we only had like 12 or 13 songs on them. This one's gonna have like 19 to 20. So it's gonna be a little longer. It's gonna be like a bigger body of work, which is dope. I got a couple features on there. The songs are a little longer. And it's gonna be dope. It's just gonna be dope as hell. It's gonna be dope as hell. The first mixtape was 96, right? When we dropped it, I think it did 96 or 97 on the Hot One, on the Apple charts. And then the second one, it did 37. So this third one, I needed to be like in top 10, top 15, or I ain't gonna feel like...
You just gotta run it up.
I ain't gonna feel like I didn't. You know what I mean? I'm gonna feel very disappointed. Yeah. It's dope seeing that it's going up and how the audience and of my fans is getting wider and bigger. I appreciate that shit.
Along those lines, what are other goals that you set for yourself? Not even just maybe musically, but personally, it's just like...
There's a lot of things I want to do business-wise. You know what I mean? I want to like open up a lot of businesses for myself. And, you know, I'm getting to that age where I want to start a family. You know what I mean? So I'm working on stuff like that. Yeah, you know, for sure. Hell yeah.
Now you got to pass on the game just like you
Nah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep this shit alive.
You want your kids to make music?
I wouldn't be against it, but I feel like honestly they would, because just like how my dad had me around, I'm gonna have them around. You know what I'm saying? So
it's natural.
Yeah, whether it's them rapping or them wanting to be an engineer or producer, I feel like they'll definitely do something in the music industry.
You don't think that's gonna be more challenging? Like if it is going in the direction it's going in, and life is only gonna get faster.
Nah, for sure. I mean, I would like it for them to do other things. You know what I'm saying? Like be a doctor or a lawyer, whatever they want to be. I'll be happy with, but. It would make me more happy, you know what I'm saying, if they followed the footsteps that I followed, you know what I mean? Because it's not about what I did, it's about me following what my dad did, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of be like them continuing his legacy, you know what I mean? Yeah. So
and it's helpful too, because you have that expertise, like Rob was saying. It's like, if they're doing something similar to what you were doing, it's like, imagine like the level of impact that you can have in their lives on that end too. Because it's like, you already have like that end. We talk about that a lot, but it's like, man, fuck all that nepotism shit, nigga. Nepotism real, but that shit's lit, nigga.
Nah, it's a fact.
Niggas don't take advantage of that, and then niggas be like, "Oh, I'm trying to make it out the mud." Nigga, why? Why you doing that to yourself? Like, come on now, let's make it happen.
Do you feel like there's any misconceptions when it comes to that though? Like people getting too much credit to Pops, like when it's like, I carry that shit myself too.
I mean, not on my end. No, not on my end, because I really don't get too many. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my fan base is kind of. It's a young fan base, so a lot of my fans don't even know my pops. You know what I mean? They never even listen to his music type shit. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that, but they're just a younger age, and they're a lot of the younger generation. They don't know about the artists that came before what they know. You know what I mean?
They should though.
They should. They definitely should. There should be a class. There should be a class for it. You know what I mean?
Homework.
Fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
You seen that like that 50th anniversary tribute for the hip hop shit on
BT?
Grammy? It was on Grammys.
On the Grammys. Oh yeah. I seen it. Hell yeah, that shit was dope. That was hard how the Grammys like dedicated the whole like award show to hip hop. They should have been doing shit like that. But you know, it's dope. It's dope that they're doing it now.
Nah, we need more of that. Because even then, like if you watch it, it's like they skipped the whole 2000s basically. Like you talking about T.I., Rick Ross, Lil Wayne.
So
like,
hopefully the next few Grammys they do that.
50.
Next, but I think they awarded Wayne like the most. I forgot the award they gave him, but they gave him like the best, the best rapper of our generation.
For real.
Yeah, the Grammys they awarded him something crazy. They gave him a crazy ceremony, which was dope. With him for doing that. Yeah, exactly. Fact.
He was supposed to perform. Like,
I mean, he did.
Planned
He
to have
performed.
him perform. No,
God
but he
did.
was supposed to perform during the tribute. But then he couldn't get on stage for some like security issues, and he's just like, I'm not doing that shit.
But you know him. A lot of times, like I be seeing stories. They like the nigga be like, if you searching me, I ain't fucking coming. So they
Something
probably
like
was
that,
on some
yeah.
shit like
He
they
was just
wanted to
like,
search
fuck
him.
it.
He's like, fuck that.
Nah,
He's
he don't
like,
give a fuck.
He got the right for that. You feel
nah,
me?
when
You
you
come in
that's
here and
no
perform. I'm coming to perform. Don't search me. Exactly. That's a fact.
I seen a video of somebody like, I don't know, threw something on the stage. He just left.
As he should.
You feel me?
As he should.
You ever had you ever had like crazy experiences on shows?
I just got off the road for the first time. I really haven't did too much performing. It's like little shows and stuff in certain areas, but there was some kids that like threw water bottles just to be funny or threw their shoes on stage. That happened like two different shows, and I had to stop them and tell them, you know what I mean?
Relax.
Like, hell yeah, bro, because that shit could hit a nigga in the head or something.
I ain't even gonna ask what race they are. No bullshit.
You already know what race they is, man. Can't keep their shoes on their feet.
So,
Is that
how Wasabi came together? You was on tour? Because the video looked like you was mobile. You was moving.
So we shot it on tour, but the song came together. Me and Ant was in Atlanta together. He came by my crib and we recorded that song at my house. And then I had sent it to GT and he just threw a verse on it for me. But this was way before the tour. The song was probably like, honestly, the song's like 2 to 3 years old. It was on a different beat.
It's funny you say that.
It was on a different beat. And I played it for P thinking it was his beat. That he made the beat for me. And he was like, I didn't make this beat. This ain't my beat.
Crazy.
I'm like, you sure? He listened to it again. He's like, yeah, this ain't my beat. So he made a beat to match the vocals. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So he had got the BPM. It didn't sound nothing like the beat, but he just got the BPM of it and he made his own beat with the same
it from y'all,
exactly,
like y'all template, like y'all vocals.
And we just put
that's
that
hard.
Out. Hell yeah. He's a genius.
Yeah. Bullshit.
I want to try. I don't want to try back to the show shit, but I'm just curious. Like when you talk about the kids and everything, that's the generation that's like probably your audience now. How do you feel about now when you go to shows? I feel like it looks a lot different than before, like maybe a decade ago. Now it's just moshing. Like it's like, are they really even listening, or are they just going there? They having a lit time. They're going there to have
fun. They're going there to have fun, and I'm not against it. You know what I mean? You're supposed to let your head down, and you know what I'm saying, and jump around, and because like a concert, like it's supposed to be like it's like a fantasy type of thing for you. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be something where you go to and you're like you're able to like not be you. You feel what I'm saying? Where you can be, or because you're going to listen to, you know what I'm saying, your favorite artist.
Feel the music.
Yeah,
no
feel
bullshit.
the music. It's a fact. So a lot of that stuff is like left at home, and they come there and they just act out and they leave it all there. You know what I'm saying? Then they go back home. They just wanted
to listen. They just throw on some headphones.
Fact,
you feel me?
fact,
They
fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So then not including yourself and like, you know, you like Sosshouse and people like that. What's the best concert you've been to?
You know what's crazy? I don't like concerts. You know why I don't like concerts?
Why is that?
Like, and I don't want to sound like I'm a bougie nigga. It's just because how I grew up. You feel what I'm saying? Being in the music industry, I don't want to go to a concert unless I can be like backstage. You feel what I'm saying? I really can't enjoy a concert from watching
that point of view.
Yeah, I have to watch it like from the side or the back. It's just something that's
what you used to.
something I've been doing. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, and all the time my friends be like, let's go to this. I be like, I can't do it. Like Rolling Loud and shit like that. I just like,
It'd be like, no, I'm good. It's like when you go to a baseball game or some shit for your first time, you're in the front row.
It's just too much going on.
That, you in the back, I'm good.
It's too much going on.
Looking through the Jumbotron, don't look at it's not as sexy.
Like, yo, they actually look like ants. That's wild.
I do want to backtrack. I want to ask, like, being between Atlanta and Miami in like 2015 era, this is like the SoundCloud era where everybody's coming up. Like, how involved in the scene were you? Like, were you seeing like these things and people blow up firsthand and shit?
Yeah, I was, but I wasn't too involved because I was doing other stuff in Miami. Like I was out there really just grinding and hustling, trying to provide for myself, you know what I mean, and for my friends and shit like that. So I really wasn't doing too much of a music thing, and that's why P was like, get out of Miami. You feel me? Stop doing that.
Yeah, that's right.
Come out here. Let's make this music and spread like how we spoke about years before. You know what I'm saying? So
he's telling you all this shit, but when does it really like hit you? Like, nah, I gotta make that move. I gotta jump.
Honestly,
on this
it was like it was a life or death situation. Some stuff that was just going on in the streets out there in Miami, and I was just like, shit. It makes sense, you know what I mean? Because like what I'm doing out here, it's only gonna land me 2 places. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
story before.
In fact, you know what I mean. And I don't want to sound cliche because like a lot of rappers be saying it, but it's really what was going on. So I took the chance, and you know what I mean. I'm glad I did. Bro. I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, knowing you've been in both of those areas, like this is more like off topic when it comes to it. But I know that like Miami and Atlanta, there's a couple things they known for, and a lot of it is scamming. In Atlanta and in Miami, which has more scammers?
Honestly,
or where is the scamming worse?
I feel like Atlanta.
I would say Atlanta. I would say Atlanta, but like a lot of scams generated or started in Florida and Miami, shit. Like tax frauds.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like a lot of different things. And they crossed over to Atlanta. Like they would burn it out. Niggas was burning it out in Florida, and then they would go to other states. You know what I mean? And pass the sauce out. That's a fact. So, but there's a lot of scammers in both them states. That's a hard ass question.
No, I'm no bullshit,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Got to be the scam capital.
That's a fact.
You got to move a certain way when you're down there.
In Miami?
Yeah, I mean either of those ways.
Yeah. No, I mean. Not really. Trouble in Atlanta. Trouble is not gonna find you unless you're looking for it. You know what I mean? Because it's like. There's a lot of things to do out there. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you find yourself getting in trouble, it's because you're looking for it. There's a whole bunch of other shit you could be doing in Atlanta than getting in trouble. You feel what I'm saying? There's so many clubs and lounges. You know what I mean? It's just mad shit you can do with yourself and your time.
For real.
But
and at this point in your career, are there like artists you want to work with?
Mm-hmm. For sure. With? Hell yeah.
Some of those names.
And like I said, not to sound cliche again, because everybody said like Future. Future was like,
that's a legend.
He's like the Wayne.
That's wild, right?
The Wayne of our time. You know what I'm saying? Like that nigga's the wizard, bro. Thug, hopefully Thug comes home soon, which I know he will. Ain't no hopefully. Yeah. He'll be home soon, so that'd be dope if I can link up with him and we do some shit. Max B. That'd be hard.
He's coming soon too.
Same thing with him. Same thing with him. That'd be too hard. Like that'd be fire.
Circle.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
That'd
be fire.
Is anybody like you watched during your childhood that you'd want to still work with? Like who were some of those faces like when you was backstage?
I mean, I guess it starts with like who's your top 5 growing up?
So my top 5 growing up would it be like probably like Wayne, like I said, French, Jim. I'd give it to Ross. I was listening to Ross a lot. Ross was heavy.
One more, yeah.
And then if I can give it to one more, I'd probably give it to like. I probably give it to Hov. Probably give it to Jay. I listen to a lot of Jay. Like when I'm young, you feel what I'm saying? Because this is like, there was a different type of rap going on. You feel what I'm saying? Like the SoundCloud rap really didn't break until about 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like this switch of music was really like a kind of like in a 15 to 20 year span. So me being 8 to 10 or 9 to 10 younger growing up, I was listening to those type of artists. You know what I mean? And it kind of I kept listening to those artists growing. You know what I'm saying?
So then boom, right? I don't know if you seen what 50 said. He said Future got more hits than Jay-Z. What you think about that?
I think what he means by
he said actually let me add to it. He said hits in the streets.
I was about to say when he means in hits in the club. Hits in the street, I'll give it to him. In the club. Like he probably has more hits that you can put on and dance to. You feel what I'm saying? But Hov got Hov got shit. Like
Hov still to go.
Hov got the most Grammys as a rapper. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like there's a lot of shit that Hov got.
I put respect on Future. Like, see, you feel me?
Come nice, bro. You know that nigga
Hov's
that nigga.
Hov's that nigga. But Future at the same time.
I put on Future before I put on Jay-Z.
Yeah, me too. Right now, me too. Me too.
Because I seen the list he was putting out, and I could tell the common thread was just like niggas who get their shit off, like fly shit, they wavy, like You feel me? It's not even just about the lyrics, but just like how they saying it.
Nah, hell yeah.
You know, and then you talked about how, you know, the sound is adjusted and transition. How was that transition for you? Did you embrace it?
Yeah, hell yeah. I embrace it. Hell yeah. I remember when Drake dropped, my pops was on some shit like, this nigga's not gonna be around for long. Like, this nigga's not it.
A lot of people thought that though.
When Drake this is when he first dropped.
Nigga, I didn't think that.
This is like when he first dropped.
That's a real Roxbury nigga right there, man.
And he was not feeling it.
Number one Drake right here. You looking at him.
And me and him made a bet. We had made a bet about his first week sales. Like I said, like,
for what, So Far Gone or like Thank Me Later type?
I think it was Thank Me Later. It was his first album because it wasn't the mixtape thing. It was like
Thank Me Later.
So like, you know, in the house, the type of shit we was like, you know what I mean? I was talking about like first week sales and stuff like that. So like, I made a bet with him that Drake would have a certain amount of first week sales, and he did it. He surpassed that first amount of weeks. So you know what I mean? That sales. You feel what I'm saying?
Terribly.
Yeah,
Yo, what was the shorty
and
who
then he
said,
switched over. He loved Drake afterwards. You feel what I'm saying? He's like, I never said that. Drake was...
What was that shorty? He said in the song, like, he played his CD and she's like, can we go back to playing Ludacris? Like,
yeah, word. Oh, go back to playing Trey songs.
Yeah,
she was like,
Trey songs.
Yo,
Drake, you should know that.
No, he has lines for both of them.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Feel me?
See,
so at the end of the day, they were just sleeping on it. Have you ever been in that situation?
As far as what?
It's like you playing some shit for somebody
and they like turn it off? Hell yeah, for sure. Or like, they just don't give me like their attention that I would like. You know what I mean? I'm thinking niggas is gonna be like, nigga, this shit is hard. And niggas
receive it like that.
Be on their phone.
Really be like that. No bullshit.
Did that shit ever hit? Like, was there ever one person where it's like, I don't really care for most people, but I really wanted that, and
that shit hurt, man. That shit hurt. I remember like my pops living in Miami. He had ran into Wayne in the club. He was always running into, I guess, being in Miami, he was always running into Wayne. But Wayne was trying to start like a group with Little Twist. It was someone else. Was this
before or after Young Money?
This was around the time of Young Money. This was around the time of Young Money. This was like 2015, 2013, like around that time. Because it might have been before then. It might have been like 2010 or 2011, like type shit. You know what I'm saying? And he was trying to do a group, or Wayne was trying to do a rap group, like how the Hot Boys was under Young Money. And he wanted to meet me because my pops was telling him about me. So he was like, bring him by the studio and we can see if we can make this happen. My pops had told me about that shit. I was so amped up, man. Like that shit, because like I said, Wayne was like all I was listening to. You know what I'm saying? Growing up. The situation never happened. I forgot why it never happened. You know what I mean?
Imagine that though. Young Money Chavo.
Fact, word. But things happen for a reason.
Facts.
You know what I mean? There was a lot of times where like French Montana, I know I was saying French was I listened to him a lot. There was times where in Miami, my dad had a studio. French would always come by the studio in Miami and like record and shit and have his own room. And I'd just go sit in and soak game and just be around. You know what I mean? Because I was a fan of the nigga and be around him. And there was times where like we would run into him in like Miami at the Coalition DJ events. And I'd go up to him and tell him how much, like, that was the first time I met him at the Coalition DJ time. And I went up to him and told him like how much he meant to me. You know what I mean? Like niggas in Boston listening to his music, like that shit was heavy. The Coke wave shit, that's all niggas was.
Yeah, they always think there's no niggas in Boston, no bullshit.
That's always I used to call my cousin up and shit, and let him talk to him and shit, let him know like, yo, like niggas love you, French, you feel what I'm saying? Fact. So there's always times like that I think of, and that shit is dope. You know what I mean? And I know like I'm gonna have talks with these niggas, you know what I'm saying? And like remind them, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you remember back in the day, times these happen, you know what I mean? Like I'm that little nigga that, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah. Shout out to French. First rapper out of Brockton with Lil Poopy.
Fact. Yeah. I remember Lil Poopy. That's a fact.
That's a throwback.
That's a fucking fact.
Yo, so you talk about you're meeting somebody who you looked up to. How was that, just that interaction? Because like I've known from like my past, like sometimes you kind of want to balance it. Like you want to let them know you fuck with them, but you don't want to be too
groupie. Nah, for sure. That's a perfect example. I mean, I was with French, I was groupied out. Like when I met French, because I was too young. You know what I'm saying? Like I was young. So like I was groupied out. You know what I'm saying? Like calling my cousin and shit, letting the nigga know. You feel what I'm saying? Like selfies and shit.
This,
you feel what I'm saying?
You gotta know about this.
Fact.
They ain't gonna believe it back home.
You know, social media, you can't even post it. So it's like,
later down the line,
I get older. I'd
be around niggas like
old flicks, like yo,
Doug and shit.
Around,
I don't be kind of fanned out around them. You know what I'm saying? Because like I want to give them their respect. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, as I got older, I kind of knew how to like channel that being like not trying to show my emotions. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't want them to be weirded out or them to feel uncomfortable.
I mean, mind you too, you should have the feeling too. It's like I know I'm gonna be in this room again
For sure.
So it's like
fact.
I don't gotta like get on this moment too much.
Fact.
See,
That's a fact, bro.
I was gonna share this story, but I'm gonna do it anyways, right?
Do it.
All right.
Nigga been sitting on. He been waiting for do it.
Nah, not even. I said I was like, yeah, you know, I ain't gonna bring it up. But you know who gave me that moment where niggas groupied out, and then we had to like learn from that?
Tell me.
Guess. Pierre.
Where?
Yeah.
Where at?
Me and him, me and Yves, we took a bus ride to Philly.
Bro,
He had a show with Lil Tecca.
Okay, the Tecca
He's like,
tour.
oh shit.
Yeah.
That's hard. Okay, I
Facts.
remember the Tecca tour.
So he had like a meet and greet at a shoe store in Philly. So we took the bus down and we met him, and you know, we just chilling, he's smoking outside, and like he's a producer. So like in his mind, he got 101 questions. Like he finally met the producer that's literally the sound of a generation on all our favorite tracks. You feel me? And he just want to soak up game. And Pierre was just like, ask me like what I ate. Ask me about like what anime I like. And I was like, nigga,
You didn't answer that though.
we ain't come here for that. But like I can imagine in that moment.
He don't
like. I ain't gonna lie. P don't like. P don't like when niggas be coming around trying to ask for tips on, and not to say like he's a bad person, because he's a great person.
Yeah,
You
he
know what I'm
probably just
saying?
hears
But
it
he
so
should-
much.
That's a fact.
Exactly.
asking
And then
for
he's
tips?
probably thinking.
Actually, no.
Okay,
But then
Nah, but we was playing it in the corner. Like
he doesn't like producer questions. You feel me? Like
yeah.
you saying like I'm a producer. You feel what I'm saying? And like.
Cause be a 1,000
was
person.
how-
You
That was
gotta,
like-
you gotta watch people who have ulterior motives. Not saying you
Like
do
shit.
or that person does, but you just gotta like keep that in the back of your head. You know what I mean? And keep your defense up. And like I don't know what he's
Never know
been
what
through.
niggas
You
want.
feel me?
Yeah,
And
nah,
you
for
feel what I'm
sure,
saying?
yeah.
So it's like
Nah, you hear it enough times, it just get tiring. Like you're not special, nigga. You like the 10th nigga who asked me
but you
today.
can't be like that, bro. Because I done had artists that done did me like that. You feel me? And I'm not gonna say no names, but they're like, them niggas ain't it right now. You feel me? Like this artist that I went up to in the past and was like, yo, bro, like you that nigga, bro. I listened to you, bro. Let me get a picture. And
So I ain't
nigga
forget.
curved me, and it's like looking now at him, it's like
Ain't got no
I'm
motion.
streaming more than him. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so it's like.
Yeah, I don't take it
real,
personally, but that's what taught me that interaction.
for sure.
That taught me is just like, even if I'm in that moment, I'm meeting the person like, you know, I always want to meet. It's just like, yo, what's good? I fuck with your shit, and just keep it moving. And like you said, you just hope that one day you meet you meet that person again.
It was like that, bro. That's wild. I'm just
It's
thinking about it,
something
bro.
new. I ain't never told
I'm
you
like,
that.
bro, I ain't never did that, bro. That's
It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us.
Bro, hearing
I
that
done have my
story,
groupie moments.
that shit made my
I got
fucking
that
skin
flick
crawl,
off,
bro.
nigga. I got the
like
flick off.
18, bro.
Yeah,
I was never doing that shit, bro.
I was like
that shit made
13,
me,
14.
yo.
It happens, man. That shit happens.
Bro, I'm gonna just be like, yo, can I dap the nigga up and be like, hey, bro, I fuck with your shit, bro. Keep going.
Hey.
Like,
I don't know what I was thinking in that
Oh,
moment. Yeah, I think he was just gonna give me all the gems or some shit. Just like off the
type shit. I feel you because it's like, but you're like saying that you're
'Cause
going
you
into it.
thinking
You don't know
like,
what
yo,
you
like,
expect.
But imagine, right in front of me.
Imagine how many people do that daily to him.
Exactly.
Imagine how many people do that daily.
Exactly.
Hundreds of people
Facts.
that he's running into that is doing. So you know what I mean? It's hard for you to decipher who's true and who's not true. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Or who's so it's like
You want that type
That's
of
real,
lifestyle of like just people coming up to you. Like I feel, are you at where would you say you are in terms of just like you could people know who you are, but you still can like float under the radar when you want to type shit.
I feel like more people know who I am and don't say anything than people that come up and do say something. Maybe because I don't know if they're like shy, or maybe people think I'm like, I don't know, maybe they don't want to show that they know my music, you know what I mean? Because I'm not as big yet, you know what I mean? So they might think that's like corny, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's the moment.
That's niggas.
A lot of
bro.
times, sometimes,
that's just
Niggas-
niggas. you feel me?
niggas
So-
love,
Shit,
like-
I was gonna say.
sometimes
Niggas be acting too cool.
Yeah,
Until
fact,
everybody
fact.
else start
Yeah.
like
Nah,
jumping
fact.
on you, like
Fact.
then
They be like, I
they
ain't seen
want
no
to
one
claim
else
you.
go up to him. Be like, nigga, what? What you mean by that?
That's a fact.
sometimes you don't even recognize the person once you finally see them in person. No bullshit.
Nah,
niggas
hell
look
yeah.
different
Like,
type shit.
My bro Rocker, he was just in the airport the other day. He seen Babyface Ray, but because he ain't seen him with all the chains on, he was like, he had to be like, take a double take, like,
Nah, yeah, yeah.
oh, and he was like, yeah.
Fact.
Type
What
shit.
is
You gotta see his
Fact.
passport. He's
Fact.
like, yes. It must be. Hey man, that's real, bro. But I feel like it comes like that's something that about celebrity that's weird. You feel me? Like we seen the video of that nigga Keith Lee talking about that shit earlier. Where it's like niggas don't come up to him all the time, but niggas just watch him. Niggas just look at him from afar. Like
Nah, for sure.
sometimes they follow him, and it's like they might not even be intentionally following, but they're following because they're just like trying to see, like just still trying to make sure that that's him. So they're just looking at him from afar.
Like,
Like,
who is that?
He's a UFC fighter and he does food reviews on TikTok and shit. And
That's
shit.
the black dude.
I don't know if he was ever
Is he the one in Utah?
He be blowing up.
He be like in the kids
He was
shit.
at the restaurant shit.
I don't know if the nigga was ever in
He's in
UFC,
Las Vegas.
but he wasn't.
Nah, he does. He fights MMA. I just found out last
Yeah,
night.
but I don't know if he was in UFC. I don't know if he
Nigga, I
was
play
in
ball at the
UFC.
Y. I ain't in the NBA though.
That's type shit. That nigga ain't in the rec league, man.
I thought, we seen the same thing with Shannon Sharp. Nigga was like,
Yeah, that shit was funny though. Really, bro? And the nigga,
you ever had like weird interactions like that?
Nigga.
Nah, not yet. I haven't had no weird interact. I mean, nah, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie.
Hey, man, let's hope niggas don't be weird, man.
Nah, for sure. The weirdest should be like people on like the DM. They'll hit me up and like say like they're gonna get a feature or something, and they're gonna send the money, and they don't send it. I feel like they just do it to get a conversation out of me, just to talk to me. You know what I mean? To see if I'm gonna respond
he
back.
replied to me.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're like, see? You're like,
Hell yeah.
Niggas is weird, but what can we expect with Chavo's World 3?
It's gonna be dope, man. A lot of melodic songs, a lot of hard 808. The beats are dope. You know, transitions. Pierre loves to do. Yeah. I love him. I love to hear him.
How hands are you like in the studio? Are you co-producing with him? Like, yo, we should go with this sound.
I'm not. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not. He makes mad beats per day. So like, this days he'll make 30 beats, 20 beats, 40 beats, and he'll just send packs out. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Yeah.
And I'll just cipher through them. I try to do as many as possible. So like, if he sends me 10 beats, I don't have to do all 10 of the beats. I can do 3 of them or 2 of them. I can, you know what I mean? I can tell him I don't. But I do all of them. I try to do as many of them as possible, and then send them out, and then I'll ask for another pack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can you ever see a Chavo's World without it being all produced by Pierre, or is this like that's not even a Chavo's World?
But yeah, I feel like it's not a Chavo's World. I feel like a Chavo's World thing is me and him, because that's something we both did together.
Yeah, I
so
built it.
I wouldn't. Yeah, this is gonna be the last one. 3's the last one.
Okay.
Wow, trilogy.
And then me and him are gonna start something new. I'm gonna do something called Kiss the Girls. That's gonna be my 4th tape. I'm gonna try to do like a melodic tape and call it Kiss the Girls.
Okay, word.
I peeped the Blue Hills tape you locked in with 668. How was that like linking up with him? Like, how'd you meet him?
It was dope. He had hit me up on the gram. He had actually paid me to do the tape. It started off as like a feature, and then like him paying to do like me to do 1-2 songs, and then from there he paid me to do some more songs and some more songs and some more songs, and we put the tape out, which is hard as shit. And then I met him, and when I was on tour with P, he's a young kid, man. It's dope as hell to see how hands on he is with his stuff. He's like 17. He might be younger than that. And it was just dope. You feel what I'm saying? Because the shit he was paying me wasn't no little bread. You feel what I'm saying? So for some 16, 17-year-old to be doing that was dope. You know, he's serious about his craft.
Do you feel influenced by the sound that's like dominating, you know, mainstream right now? You know, like obviously we talked about like Pierre, like he dominated, I feel like 2016, and he's still doing his thing now, but you know that sound, that Cardi sound and shit.
It's always,
but now it's kind of like drill music. It's the Detroit shit.
Yeah, the Detroit shit's heavy right now. That Detroit sounds heavy.
You ever feel
drill
like,
music? I got it. Like I beg a differ on. I feel like the drill music thing is just an East Coast thing. Not to put down any drill artists. You feel what I'm saying? It's just I don't hear it down south. I'm not hearing drill artists unless it's a New York nigga playing some drill artists or something. You feel what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm not really hearing it.
Niggas ain't getting sturdy in Atlanta.
That's so valid, bro. I
thing,
appreciate you saying that, bro.
Nah,
No
for sure.
bullshit.
And niggas ain't doing that out west either. I'm like, or you feel what I'm saying? It's
like
the
niggas don't
people
be
from
understanding.
the East Coast that migrate to these places. You know what I mean? And they put their friends on of the music. And you feel me? And then niggas might be starting to.
But that's just big in the UK too, though.
Nah, it's huge in the UK.
Internationally.
That's where it
New
came from.
England.
That's where it came from. That's where it came from. That's where it came from.
No bullshit, nigga.
That's where it came from. And then Chicago blew it the fuck up. And then, you know, New York kind of took the wave and
reinvented it.
Exactly. Because the New York drill is way different from Chicago drill.
It is.
Chicago drill was more like,
oh, that was a shit.
it was that shit, but they wasn't dancing.
Dirt, yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
And them niggas in Chicago be dancing.
Yeah,
There's that one video
Chief
Chief keep dancing. That nigga used to dance.
Them niggas be bro. Them niggas be dancing, bro. But not to that
light, bro. It's
Nah,
called
you know
Getting
who was
Light.
dancing? It was like the
Light.
King J.
Yeah.
Sosa really wasn't busting no fucking move. Sosa might do it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It was a King
It's
J
cool.
nigga that was.
They was busting other shit.
Yeah, word.
You seen that video?
Nah.
Yeah, you gotta see
I gotta
that.
see
I'll
that.
show-
Yeah,
I'll show
bro.
you
Because,
later.
bro, I feel like it's like you said, it's getting late. Like, that's a huge culture out there, bro.
Nah, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
So we
what's it
talking about
called?
these eras. We got Chicago drill. We got, you feel me? Like I feel like the trap, like I don't want to say trap era because trap is so like it's.
Nah, it wasn't
widespread,
Atlanta
but
trap era, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Future
Gucci,
Thug.
T.I.
Do y'all feel like I'm gonna ask y'all a question? Y'all feel like the Atlanta era is over with?
Hell no.
Okay, because you said there was a trap era. I feel like we said
I feel like it's
still
evolving.
going.
Right now, it's
Yeah.
more so like a melodic sound opposed to like how it was like niggas is rapping. Now more niggas is like singing
sure, for
melodic.
sure,
it's
for sure,
plugging
for sure,
beats, shit
for
like
sure,
that. Like
for
Mexico
sure.
Joe,
I
he's
feel
the
like-
leader
for
of
sure,
that, like
for sure.
pushing that new sound.
For sure.
I feel like there was an era that was like recognizable because it was like, and it's still existing, but I don't think it's existing in hip hop right now.
It's just
It's
that.
more so existing in music, where like now a lot of that stuff that you saw in like that hip hop that you would see from like maybe like 2013 even toward like 2012 until like maybe like 2019 ish, like you would see like that sound like now is in like mainstream like pop. You feel me? And is in like
So it's
you know
like
what I mean?
maybe
A lot of
not
the rock
as
shit.
unique to
Even
Atlanta
country.
anymore.
For sure.
Type
I
shit.
mean, I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a new Atlanta.
That's
There's
what I'm
an
saying.
old Atlanta,
Exactly.
there's a new Atlanta.
What's
Yeah,
that new
no,
Atlanta?
there's a
Who
different
makes up
version
that
of
new
it now.
Atlanta?
That
then?
new Atlanta, bro, you could say like
Baby.
Oh, you talk? I'm thinking about like production. 'Cause
Oh,
that's what it really
production. Okay,
starts.
no, yeah,
you
you
feel
right,
me? I
you
feel
right.
like I don't know, because when I think about old Atlanta, I
Easy.
think about like Shawty Red. I think about Zaytoven.
Yeah,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure, for sure.
But the new Atlanta, it's just there's so many young niggas who are just every day just
Killing
making
it.
like some different shit.
No, fact.
It keeps growing from
That's
that.
a fact.
So what's your if you got to break it down, like what is your favorite era?
My favorite era?
Yeah.
Bro, I be listening to old shit, bro. Like I'll play like honestly, I play like 70s like soul music, you know what I mean? Like 80s R&B and shit like that, 90s R&B
Oh, you
like
got an R&B bag too.
hell
Fuck
yeah,
with
bro. I like playing like old oldies. Like I'm an
Yeah.
oldie type of guy. I got an old soul, so I'd listen to oldies before I listen to new. You know what I'm saying?
You think it's
just me.
better for your music?
Yeah, because then I don't sound like you feel me? I don't sound
Type
like
shit.
what's current going on right
Drawing
now.
inspiration from
Yeah,
shit that
hell yeah.
niggas like haven't heard.
No, fact.
Not
fact,
type shit,
fact,
no bullshit.
fact. Because that's a lot of people sound like a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
So like that's something I'm glad I don't sound like the next person. You know what I mean? I stand on that and I take pride on that. In that I don't sound like the next person.
a fact.
True.
That's a fact. Now, are there gonna be any more collabs with Koi? We heard we was listening to
Yeah,
American
there should
Deli,
be.
the
There
back
should
and
be. You
forth that
never
y'all
know.
was
You
doing.
never
That
know.
shit was hard. I like the chemistry with
We
that.
did that in the crib too. She came to my house in Atlanta. I had a little spot in the hood, like in East Point, broken down crib. Like that shit was fucked up. She came through and Pierre was there too. We recorded it in the side room. I didn't even have like really too much furniture in that house. Like all I had was like couches. I had 2 couches in the living room. I had my bed in the back room. Me and my cousin was going half and half on it, and he had his bed in his room. You feel what I'm saying? Other than that, there wasn't shit else in that house. And she came in, she killed her verse, man. She killed that shit. I was proud as hell. You know what I mean?
I feel that.
My girl was there. We was all over there smoking and kicking it. But there's definitely gonna be some more music in the future. You know what I mean? It's just
So in that moment that you was in the crib with the couch and the 2 beds, could you have ever imagined it'd be where it's at now?
yeah, hell yeah. Honestly, thought I'd be further. You know what I'm saying? Which is just me being hard on myself, me being my biggest, you know what I'm saying? Like I guess critic or me
Hey man, you an artist, man.
for sure.
who
but it's
gonna
gonna
do it
come.
for you?
The
So
shit's
we
gonna
do
come.
that
That
shit.
shit's gonna come. So
Yeah, when it's your
I
time.
ain't
For
tripping.
real.
Fact, exactly. It's a time thing. You can never
No timetable
question.
greatness, right?
Yeah, question the man above.
Is there a song that you're surprised that people gravitated towards?
Hell yeah. Like Michigan. I didn't think Michigan was gonna be
Yeah.
my biggest song. You know what I mean? There's other songs that I like way more than Michigan, that I thought would have did it for me. It was just something with Michigan that did it. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I really can't explain what
Still
it
trying
was.
to figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I really
So-
don't know what it was.
So to the person watching right now, say, you know, they fucking with your vibe, they love the story, but they may not be as tapped in. What's the essentials? Like what would you tell them to go listen to? After they watch this, go listen to this shit.
So go listen to Chavo's World 1, and listen to Hood Level 1, and then also listen to Hood Level 2, and then listen to Chavo's World 2. Those would be like the 4 tapes I'd tell you to go check out. Mixed Emotions is dope too. That's a tape with me and Pierre. But it's something I had put out. It wasn't put out through the label, so it really didn't get too much promotion and marketing through it. And it was something I dropped earlier on. But it had a lot of hard shit that would have went on Chavo's World 1. You know what I mean? But I
Gotcha.
just put it on Mixed Emotions, and we just put that out there. So I really think you guys should go check out Mixed Emotions. If you like Chavo's World 1, you'll like Mixed Emotions. It was recorded in the same time period. It's all Pierre production. It's dope shit. It's dope shit.
That's amazing, bro. And then it's great to hear your story too.
Oh, thank you,
and if
bro.
there's anything else,
Thank you for having me, man.
Nah, of course. Thanks for coming through. And if there's anything else you want to let the people know that maybe they don't know.
Just I want y'all to check out my music. We got some new stuff coming out. I'm gonna try to drop like 3 or 4 more tapes before the year's out. I got like 6 videos. Yeah, I got like 6, 7 videos off this Chavo's World 3 tape that's dope that we're gonna be dropping soon. I'm dropping Call on Me, which is my single, in the next 3 weeks. Chavo's World 3 should drop in the next 4 to 5 weeks. It's my first time saying that, so check that out. Be on the look for that. It's gonna be dope, man.
Thanks. Get your GoFundMe accounts ready.
Yes, sir.
You know, put your bread together. Get a Chavo feature.
Fact,
get out of here. Get out of Boston.
Come holler at me, man. I definitely, you know what I mean? I do rates. I do great rates. I work with budgets, man. I work with budgets. I'm not one of them rappers that's charging thousands and thousands. You feel me? I charge hundreds and hundreds. So come holler at me before it gets too late and I charge thousands and thousands.
Right.
Shit.
And then you're going to be looking crazy like that nigga who, who's hating. Right?
Facts.
Hey man, it's been another one. Bad for the community. Appreciate you, Chavo. Appreciate Noble from Museum TV for putting it on. You didn't even have to do this, Noble. So I appreciate you for real. You know what I mean? How did he explain it when he was like, "Yo, we got this podcast"?
Bro, he just them young niggas, bro.
I bet he said young niggas.
Young niggas. So they some young cool niggas, man. So they like 22, 23, man. They be doing their thing though, man. There's some young cool niggas. I was like, that's what's up. I'm coming. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, we appreciate it.
Because I ain't gonna lie, when I seen it was bad for the community, that's the name, right?
You're like, what the fuck?
I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Yeah, this is hard. It's hard, bro. It's just hard, bro. Like when I walked inside, I was impressed with everything. This shit's dope. I like what y'all got going on.
Thank you, man.
For real, bro.
Thank you, man. Hey, man, y'all go check out Chavo's World 1, 2. All right, 3 on the way. Hey, man, we out of here.
We out.
That was dope.
Yo, bro, why you ain't introduce us, bro?
Damn, I just got right into it.
Thought niggas forgot, huh? Niggas said, I'm here with y'all. He didn't even say we on time. He said, I'm here with y'all. I was like, damn, nigga.